We shouldn't have any music on. Okay, Taylor. Yeah. Julian, headset off, please. Henry. Okay. What does it, Mariah, what does it mean to solve? If you're going to solve an equation or an inequality, so if x is bigger than 3, what does, and you guys, when you took that little quiz yesterday, you just put down the first answer you saw. You didn't even bother to look at it. No, we're talking about yesterday's, Cole. No. Okay, guys, Grant, if you pay attention, it's not that painful. You'll have time to work today. But what does it mean to solve? Ted, what does it mean to solve? Because you're doing it too. What do you mean find the answer? What is the answer? 2 plus 3, the answer is 5. Hey guys, shh, I haven't solved anything. Henry, I haven't solved anything. Allison, guys, I need you quiet. I have not solved 2 plus 3. I have simplified it. You have to have the vocabulary. 2 plus 3 is, 5 is far more simple than 2 plus 3. Yeah, it does. It does. David, this is not simple, but this is. It's called simplified. Okay? And actually, everybody in here should be listening to me, even Nick and Audrey and Emma, because this means solve. What does solve mean? This is not an equation. You solve equations or inequalities. Now, if you know what solve means, you should have an A on this test. But a lot of you don't know what it means. What does it mean?
So we're going to have a test, and it says 3 plus 5.
No. If you asked to do 2 plus 3 and you wrote down 5, the directions would have been said simplify. Would not have said solve. Whereas if I have this, x plus 3 equals 5, that's an equation, and I'm going to tell you that x is equal to 1.
Equal to 2.
Why, Mariah? Why am I wrong and you're right? Because why?
X plus 3 equals 5.
X represents any number you can think of. I say it's 1.
It's 2.
Why is it 2?
Because 2 plus 3 equals 5.
Because when I put 2 back into this equation, it makes a true sentence.
There you go, yeah.
So solve means to find the numbers. It's a verb. It's action. We're going to find the numbers. David, it doesn't matter what you think. That's the math term. It means simple.
Number that fits the equation.
No, because you can't challenge the definition. Find the numbers that make the sentence true. Okay. Now, I'm going to reteach the inequalities because you guys are getting wrong about 50% of the time. Because you're trying, first off, you're not thinking about what it means to solve. What does it mean to solve x is greater than 3? I want to find what? X is greater than 3. Mariah says 4. What about 4? Or Taylor said it. It's bigger than 3. Okay, Henry? If I put this into this inequality, it makes it true. What are some more numbers? Grant. What else makes that true? What else is true? This means I want to find all numbers larger than 3. And you know what? If you get this, you'll carry this skill with you all the way through all your classes. Okay, Ray? What other number? Give me another number that makes it true. I want to find them all. 6.
14.
No. Number's bigger than 3. Julian? 5. No, it's not any number. 2. Oh, wait. Does 2 work? Oh, what's my favorite number in the whole world?
0.
Well, yeah, you're right. I may like that better than this one. Do you guys know what that number is?
5.
5. Okay. Can I list them all?
No, why don't you just...
I can't. So I'm going to draw a picture. And this is my boundary. That's the 3. Do I get to include that? Ted, do I get to include that if it just has a greater than sign?
No, you make a circle.
Now that dot isn't any bigger than any other dot. I make it big so you can see I'm not including 3. It's the only reason for that. Nobody ever tells you this. They just do all these big dots and little dots, and you think that's the way it is. It's not. All dots are the same. Now, I look here, and I don't even have to know how to solve that. All I have to do, the process of solving, is look and see which numbers are bigger than 3. Which ones are bigger than 3? Right. Okay, here's the problem. Let's see, -2 is less than -x. Now we have some problems. This is where you're getting them wrong because you're not understanding what solve means. Okay, Grant, what I'm going to do is think over here. I want to find the boundary. I want to find where it's true, where it's false. I want that dividing point. It's called a critical point, by the way. If you ever go on in more math, it's called a critical point. So let's make this -2 equals -x. What's the solution to this equation? What makes that true? You can't put anything in there and make it true?
1.
Is -2 equal to -1? What's the only number that I can put in there and make that true? 2. Now, we did not go through the solve process. Headset out. Headset. If you had to say what, that means it's way too loud. Okay, we did not go through the process of solving. We just looked at that and said, what's the only number I can put in there and make it true? This works every time. Okay, so now I'm going to draw my little number line. And there's 2. Do I get to include it? No. Okay, Taylor, you're not going to get this unless you pay attention. No iPads. We don't need them right now. All I have to do, isn't right? Okay, you guys. One side or the other is going to make this true. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to try a number. Okay, Grant, what number would you like to see will make that sentence true? You have to think, though. -1, you want to try -1, which is over here. Here, I would have put 0 in, but it doesn't matter what number you pick. If -1 makes this a true statement, then everything on that side is true. Notice I'm not dividing by -1. I'm not reversing any inequalities. Henry, do you need to sit someplace else? I need you to focus right now. Okay, and leave Mariah alone. And you leave him alone. Fair? Okay, guys. What numbers? Somebody said let's try -1. Does that make it true, Mariah?
No.
How do you know?
I don't know.
You don't, but you do. Well, if you learn, I can do it. Is this true? I'm going to substitute in -1. What is the right-hand side here?
Wait, can you please explain to me what little arrows are?
This is less than.
Stick it out.
No, it's a less than. Some people do it this way. I just do it this way. Doesn't matter. It's a less than symbol.
Save.
Right. So what's a negative times a -1? David? What's the opposite of -1? 1. You guys all know that. And this is -2. Is that a true statement? That's a question mark.
Yes.
So guess what? We shade that side. I didn't do anything with dividing by negatives.
Question.
Not a thing. I don't have to remember it. Just remember boundaries. Yeah.
Do you know how?
So you want to look at one of those?
No. Do you know how you do this and then this? Is it basically just like boom and boom? Is there
No, do not memorize that because that is not true. If I solve this, I know they taught you to memorize. You've got to get rid of that. You've got to think, and it's not that hard. Lalo. I pretended that this was equals. That's all I did. And I said, let's find where this boundary is. Because this is the point where it's either going to be to the left or to the right. That's your boundary point. Once I will make it true, once I will not make it true. So let's take one of these, since you have some good examples here. Let's take this one. And I wish I had taught it this way on day 1. When you divide by negative, you guys, Allison, you are going to reverse inequality. But I don't have to remember that. I don't know. Let's solve.
First, take away the 5.
Okay. No, first we are going to pretend it's this. Let's find out when these are equal. And she might be right.
I'm always
Is guess and check okay? Yes. What if it's the answer's 0.1375? You're not going to guess that ever in a million years. So then you have to learn. No, pi is 3.1415. That's right, numbers. Okay, so we subtract 5. You guys, you know this. I know you know it. So negative 45 is equal to 5x, and then what do we do? Divide by 5. Okay, Allison?
Wait, why is it divided by 5?
Because you divide by the number with the letter. So the answer is negative 9. Some of you are careless about signs, and that's just a matter of being careless. It's not a matter of not understanding. That's not it. Okay, Grant? There's my boundary point, and let me put it up above here so we can see everything together, or over to the side. So here's my number line. That's negative 9. What number's to the right of it? 8. Negative 8. Then this is negative 10. Okay, do I get to include the negative 9? Now I got to go back to this. You always go back to the original. Steve, do I get to include negative 9?
Yes, because you are
This is an inequality. Only time I get to include it is if it has that little extra line there. No, I don't.
on the other side.
I have to first mark where the boundary is. There it is. There's the wall. Okay, Grant, which side is it going to be on? Which side am I going to say? You can't go by that symbol. If somebody taught you that, that only works some of the time unless you always have it x greater than x less than. Never works otherwise. So I want to test the value. Any x in the world you want, but what's the easiest x to try? I don't know. Let's try 0, which is over here. Is negative 40 greater than 5 plus 5 times 0, which of course you know what that is, right? Is negative 40 bigger than 5? No. So guess what? I don't get to shade that side. I shade the other side. Did I worry about the fact that the inequality is in the wrong place? That the x is on the right? Did I worry about dividing by negative? No. I don't worry about any of those hard things. Just test. Just test. That's it. The only thing where it fails, it doesn't fail, but 0 fails when it's y equals x, or y equals 2x, y equals 3x, if it goes to the origin. Then you got to find another one. Do you want to look at any of the ones from the inequalities? I mean, I can make something up. I gave back the papers I had, yes. Yes. So if I gave you back a paper and you don't have full points, you may earn full points by going back and correcting it. I do have more copies. So if your copy's a mess, I'll get you a new one.
Numero 10, por favor.
10? Oh, c'est en français. Okay. This is day 2. It's actually D. But anyway, this is number 10. Okay. You know, those inequality symbols just make it look terrible. Yes.
You said we have a test tomorrow?
I don't think we're ready. So we probably won't do it tomorrow. You have a review packet to work on first. Okay. We'll see. You have to have your homework done. Okay, you guys. What are we going to do? No, we are not. We are going to make it an equation.
And then
Now, why would you want to move 4x? Which one's like 31? The x's or the 1?
first one's
Grant?
positive 1.
Which one's like the 31? The x's or the 1? X? Nope, x doesn't look like a number, but negative 1 does. Now, these are nice numbers. They don't have to be nice numbers. That's 32, right? Whoops, I copied it wrong. It happens. So 4x equals 32, so x equals what? 8. Mariah, don't do that. Okay, put that away, please. No, you're not supposed to wear it in class. Take it off. Okay. How am I going to do this now, David? I'm going to draw a number line. Where's my dividing point, Allison? If you pay attention, you can get this. Where's the boundary point? At what? 8. Okay, so I'm going to put an open circle there. Oh, wait, do I get to include it this time, David? David?
Yeah, you do because it's underlined.
It's underlined, so that means I have a little bit more pencil. Now, what number's over here?
9.
Well, 10's okay. What's over here?
6.
6. So you went by 2s, it's fine. Okay, Jake, I got to figure out which way to shade it. What number do you want to try? Doesn't matter, one side or the other. Haven't you ever been in that situation, Ray? You get to go out Saturday night if you do your homework, or you do the dishes. Sometimes this might be an and, but it's one or the other. It's a choice. You can either have ice cream for dessert, or you can have pie for dessert. You don't get to have both. No, I'm not gonna give you that option.
My mom, she
Okay. Shh. What number do you want to try?
4.
Mariah says 4. What number do you want to try, Jake? Which one? 0. Okay, guys. Jake picks 0 because it's easier. It's -1 plus 4 times 0. Is that smaller than 31? Yeah. So which side gets shaded? The side with the 0, which is also the side with the 4. You can do 4. Is that smaller than 31? Yeah. But why do we pick 0? Ray, why do we pick 0?
Sorry, what were you?
Why do we pick 0 to test? It's the easiest one, because 0 times any number is 0. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about a line or if we're talking about an inequality. Cole? So you need to pay attention so you get this. Taylor?
So when you
It's always going to be one side or the other. If this had been -1 plus 4x is greater than or equal to 31, when you tried 0, you would have -1 is bigger than 31. Is that true? No, it's false. So then you would not shade that side. You go to the other. It's one side or the other, not both.
What is this and what is this?
better than less than
You guys ever play Pac-Man? Or alligators? This always eats the larger number. I look at it this way. The small point goes to the small number. This is the larger number here. So that's a less than. And that's a greater than. Okay. She's not here. No. Okay. You guys, do we need to do some lines with the inequalities? Then let's look at some of those. Let's look at day 7. Now you guys should have your homework out. I've given back everything, I think, that I have. So let's look at day 7. This one's hard. And you guys are not getting these right. Well, those who have turned them in, nobody's been right. Let's do number 1. You know what? I'm going to do it as 2 separate. I know, I'm worried about that. Why don't you just use the long cord?
Well, that has nothing to do with it. It's short or long.
Yes, it does, because it's off the ground. It's because it's off the ground. Okay, guys, let's graph those. Now, this is day 7. Okay? Shh. You guys, I don't see any green sheets out.
I got 5 on the green sheet.
Yeah, we're going to do number 1. That's the wrong green sheet.
I got 5 on it.
Did you get, which one did you want to do?
Can you hand me that wrapper?
I don't know.
You want to do this one instead?
Sure, yeah.
What's that, number 4? Okay, let's do, I'll leave this, you may want to see it. They're all the same. You wouldn't need so much practice if you cared about whether or not you got them right or wrong. No, it says day 7 on it. Do we need to get you some more sheets?
I need one.
That's. I gave everything back, I thought. Yes. That's day one. I don't have any more. That means you. I mean, I have extras. Yeah, you guys, I don't have it. If I don't. If I didn't give it back to you, I don't have it. Of course, last time I said that I was wrong. But there's only 4 problems on here, I think. Maybe. That could be. Oh, I don't have any more day 7s, do I? You guys took all my day 7s. I don't see any green ones here at all. Oh, maybe that's them. They're there. Okay, you guys, I make extras, but not that many. Okay, Ray, if you would have a seat, please. It looks like this. Okay, we're going to do number 4. And we're not going to put that there because I'm going to trip on it. We're going to start with number 4 because Lalo. Wrong green sheet. Where's yours? I gave you back everything I had. There it is. Okay, do you need one? Okay, we're going to turn it off entirely. We're going to fool around with it. Okay, Stephen, you should have one. I only have a couple extras. David, you should have one. I should have graded it. What's your pack there?
I already went back. There's no green sheet besides this one.
Okay, I don't know how you got out of the way without one, but there you go. Julian, where's yours? Okay, Cole, where's yours? Green sheet. Whoops, he's got to do number 4 also. You guys, if it's not 100%, it's not done. Where's your green sheet? Mm-hmm. I want to see it out on everybody's desk. Okay, we are going to start with number 4 because a lot of people got number 4 wrong. I have Alexandra's. I gave you back everything, but maybe it's upstairs.
Do you have a pencil?
Yes. Can you get her a pencil? There's some in the cabinet, and there might be some in there. Yeah. Well, guess what? Your test looks like this, so we got to figure this out.
I don't mean I gave it up because I don't know how to do it. It's because I was like actually had the work frustrated.
Oh. Well, let's do it now. Okay. So. Which ones? No, number 1 is not parallel. Let's do number 4, and then we'll come back to 1. Okay, Grant? They're not parallel. Hey, Grant, David, need you focused. Let's do number 4, then I'm going to come back and do number 1.
Well, I know what number 4 can be.
No, because we're going to do number 1. Rachel?
I was gonna give him a pencil.
Okay. I have tons of pencils back there. Just raise your hand if you need a pencil. Hey, guys, we're wasting time. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to make this equal to -3. And then how do you graph that? David, how do you graph that? We've been doing this for a while.
Why do you keep doing that? That's not how we're talking.
Okay, you didn't listen. We're going to find the boundaries. Okay, shh. You guys, if these lines intersect, it's going to be 4 regions. Which one is it?
I have another one. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to find the boundary for each line and then shade. Okay, so what do you have to do, Grant? We're working on this problem. You need to be focused. Right here. I know, incorrectly.
You want to get rid of the
X. You always want to solve for Y. Even if we use graphing calculators, you have to solve for Y. Okay, Lucas, do you have this one? Did you get it all right? Okay, so it's -x minus 3. What's the slope? No, -1. There's no x's in slope. Slope is always a number. Grant, I'm going to send you away then. What's the y-intercept? Because you have this problem wrong, so you need to correct it. Because you're not paying attention, Grant. What's the y-intercept? -3. We're getting better in our graphs, by the way. Whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so let's graph that. Actually, I better be careful while I do this. I know, I have to move it down. Okay, so my B is at -3. Oh, I did this in black. Let's say black. And my slope is -1, which means I go what? Down 1.
Can you move it up?
Why? Everything you need is right there. It's on the sheet.
Thank you. Well, else I'm gonna rewrite it.
Why?
Oh, well.
Okay, so this is the line. Now, Allison wants to go back and look at the original inequality, and I agree with her, because I don't know if it's solid or dotted. It's solid, isn't it? So this is solid. Yeah, it's close enough. I have to go back up because now I'm going to test. Now, half the plane is going to be shaded, but the question is, which half?
So we have to do the.
I'm going to let's do the shading first so I don't get mixed up, okay? Now, let's just figure out where the arrows are going to go. Which side is it going to be on? What's the easiest ordered pair to test? Okay, David? I'm going to test this point and this inequality. I got to go up higher. And so let's do that. Let's do it in red. Is 0 plus 0 bigger than -3? True or false? David, is that true? Is 0 bigger than -3? So that's the side I shade. Now I'm just going to put arrows here because I don't want to get it messy. Okay, now what? Cole, you got this wrong. How are you going to learn that you did it wrong? Because I graded your paper. Did you not turn your paper in? Then it's probably wrong. You guys, do not assume you are right. You know what I do? I check my answers too if I have answers. And I've been doing this a lot. Well, I'll teach you what assume means later. Okay, let's do this one. What? That's it. I'm not going to shade it yet. The slope is -1, so I'm just counting. I'm going to go to the down 1 to the right 1. This video will be okay, but now I'm teaching this differently, huh? It's hard. I'm teaching this differently than how they're teaching it in the book. I think it's easier. Okay, now what do you have to do with this one? Cole, what do we do with this one then? Equals -3, so we subtract 5. Just 5? Oh, 5x. Does that matter? Yes, it does. Now, I'm going to get -5x minus 3. Then what are we going to do? What? I'm going to divide by a -1. Now, if I kept it as an inequality, I'd have to worry about which way the inequality symbol goes. Okay, Grant? And I'm not going to worry about it because I did an equation. So y equals 5x plus 3. Where do we start this one? What's b? 3. What's the slope? Okay, so I'm going to start at 3. And I'm going to do a slope of 5. Ooh. Well, I'm going to go down 5 and then left 1. 3, 4, 5, left 1. It's steep. I mean, you can go up here. Do you know how to do it? Let me finish the problem. Okay. Now, is that dotted or solid? It's solid. I like the solids because I want to make them solid anyway. Okay, now, let's look at 0, 0 because that's still the easiest one to deal with. Okay, Grant, does that make a true statement? Put 0, 0 in here. Is 5 times 0 minus 0, is that smaller than -3? True or false? Is 0 smaller than -3? Okay, Lala, you missed this one. False. So which side do I shade? Do I shade the side with 0, 0? No, the other one. Now, I've got 4 regions here. Where I want the one that has 2 arrows in it. It's this one here. So, Cole, get your worksheet out and let's see if you have the right answer. And you need to turn it in anyway. Your line may be wrong. Your line might be wrong. Oh, that looks okay. Looks like I corrected it wrong on the thing. Okay, I don't know. Okay, should we go back and do number 1 now? Yes, but you had a question on 1. Mariah, if you realize they're not parallel, when you divide by the -1, that becomes -2. Yes. So you want to do it together? Yeah. Okay. So I want to solve for y. Let's do this one first. Hey, Henry, how do I solve for y? Whoops. Nope, 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 nope. You want to solve for y. Undo the adding. Okay, Grant, I don't believe you got this one right. You should be fixing it because you get points back for every problem you fixed. What is this going to be? Okay, Lalo, do you have is your review sheet corrected? Day 8? Oh, so you have some work to do on day 8. So you can be working on it. I just subtracted 2x from both sides. What do I get, Allison? What? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're asking me.
Why do you have to rewrite it like that?
Because I'm just going to graph the boundary.
Then we have to rewrite it.
No, well, just make it an equals, but whatever. Where is yours? These are old, but I've got one left. These are from a couple days ago. You should have one.
No, you didn't give me one. You gave me the yellow one, but you didn't give me one.
No, you were in my other class when I gave it to you. Okay, well, let's do this one. You need a pencil now?
Yep.
So minus, you do need one? Go, Lisa? He needs a pencil. Maybe I should start class every day saying, who doesn't have a pencil? Okay. Let's graph it. Well, look. I did that before. I always do that. I'm down. So annoying. Okay. Now, you guys are pretty good at graphing lines now. I think you've gotten the hang of that. Now we should be testing you. Maybe we shouldn't even test you on graphing lines until we go here. Okay, this is in black. What's the y-intercept? Where do we begin? -3. Okay, Mariah? Okay. What's the slope? This is where you begin. Okay, Jake, what's the slope? What's the slope? What's m? -2/1. Okay, now let's get the boundary plotted. Down 2/1. Is mine dotted? Yeah. It's dotted. Okay, Cole? Which side are we going to graph? Shade. Well, we're going to know in about 2 seconds. We've got the boundary. Do you see why it's a dotted line? I don't know. I just graphed the line. That's it. The y-intercept's -3. Your slope's -2. Yeah. Okay. Grant, which side are we going to shade?
So then you go up.
I go down 2 to the right 1. Grant, I got to figure out which side to shade.
How about you get across there?
Because they're dotted. Because this is a less than, not a less than equal to. How are you going to know which side to shade? You're going to substitute in 0. Is 0 less than -3? No. So this is false. So I'm not going to shade the side with 0, but I'll shade this side. And the more you do, the better you get at it. Okay. That was it. Go back and get a pencil from Lisa then. No, you need a pencil. Actually, I'm going to give you a colored pencil because I want to get this done. Granite, you're supposed to be fixing this. Oh, I just gave you green on green. Great. Okay. Now, what do you do next, Cole?
Shading.
No, I already did the shading.
Oh,
No,
you minus the 2x.
minus 2x.
And if I get this right, I'll be really mad at you.
Why?
Because you said this all wrong, you liar.
Oh.
You didn't give it to me.
Yeah, you're like me.
We didn't even have it out. You weren't doing.
It's on the floor.
Well, that's not out. Okay, now what do we do, Cole? By what? Negative 1. So y equals what?
1x. Yeah, 1x.
What's a negative 2 divided by negative 1? 2.
2. Yes, 2.
Don't do that. And what's a negative 1 divided by a negative 1? 1. Okay, Mariah, are these slopes the same? What's the slope for here? And what was the slope for this one? So they are not parallel. Well, they're not going to be perpendicular. But you're right. Right idea. What's B? No. They have to be the same slopes to be parallel. So let's graph B. Where's B go? Okay. Start on the y-axis. And that means I'm going to go up 2 and I'm going to go over 1. Is it?
Yeah.
Good. You know, there's a lot of things you have to think about, but it's not particularly hard when you take into little pieces. Now you have to decide which side to shade. Go give it to Lisa and she'll correct it. Okay, I'm going to test 0, 0. 0 minus 0, is that smaller than negative 1? 0 smaller than negative 1 or bigger? Bigger. So I don't shade that side, I shade the other side.
All right. Take this right now.
Go get the other ones checked by Lisa.
Will you get them all right? Or we don't face it?
I guess. We'll do number 2. Let's do number 2 together.
I'm working.
Slowly.
All right. I go slow and then.
Now he needs to get day 8, the pink one.
I did that too. Those are all right.
We'll give it to Lisa and she'll correct it.
Yeah.
Good, finish it. Yeah, because I don't have it recorded. Hey, if you get a paperback, it's been corrected, and you corrected it, give it back to me because it's not recorded, because I'm up here. Okay, what's number 2?
3x minus y is greater than or equal to
I'm out now.
bottom one's x plus y is less.
That's center equal to what? Negative 3. You could just write them down again, though. They are on Schoology. And I don't know what my graph paper went. I left it on top of the file cabinet. I see it no more. I had all that graph paper in here. You could take one of these other ones and put it on here. Where is she?
There's more guys in here than there is girls.
I wonder if that's the problem. Okay. Henry, let's do this one, and then you'll be able to do the other one. We're going to graph each of these separately. So you're going to do 3x minus y equals negative 1. Now what do?
Okay, you subtract the. No, you get the y by itself.
Right, so subtract what?
Minus 3x.
Where do you see a 4? What's on your sheet?
M equals 1. Negative 1.
No, we haven't solved for y yet. Minus y equals negative 3x minus 1.
Okay, you divide by 1.
What kind of 1?
Y.
Negative 1.
Yeah.
So y equals what? 2 negatives make a 3x. 2 negatives make a. Okay. Now I got to get my graph. I'm putting the pen down. I do it all the time in my other classes. Okay, do we have to write out what M and B are? Where do we begin? 1. Henry, graph this. We're going to begin at 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, is it dotted or solid?
Solid.
Solid.
Wait, how do you tell if it's solid or solid?
Because it has this little extra line here, that's going to be solid, and the other one's going to be solid. If it doesn't have it, it's dotted. Okay, now we're going to test 0, 0, and see what works. Put 0 in here. Is that bigger than negative 1?
Yeah. No.
No.
Wait, is 0 bigger than negative 1? Yes, it is.
Oh.
I was right the first time.
Okay, that's true. Sometimes you have to think a little bit. So it shades on the side of 0. And why do you think I'm good at this? Practice, practice, practice.
Your teacher.
No, I had to learn it. I practiced. It's called doing homework. Okay. That's right. I learned it from practicing.
Practice it by listening.
Okay, what do you do here? X plus y equals negative 3.
Minus 1.
No, I want y by itself, minus x. You could do that, by the way. Where does this one begin?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Slope is negative. Up 1, down 1, to the right 1. So it's going to look like this. Might be a little curvy. And then we're going to shade. It's either going to be above it or below it. I'm going to try. I don't know. I haven't even thought about it. Put in 0. Is 0 plus 0 smaller than negative 3? No. So this does not work. So we're going to go this way. Yeah, I colored it with colors. Where's the region? Oh, there's the region with 2 arrows. If you were to zoom out on it, you'd see 4 spaces there. Maybe skinny, but they're there. That's all that's on this test. Now, we haven't done any of the special cases like x greater than 3 or anything like that. Now, I did 3 out of the 4 of these problems, so everybody should have at least 3 out of 4. Ted, what are you working on? What are you working on? Okay, it looked like you were sleeping.
For this one, do we do?
Yeah, that's right. So it's negative 1/2. The slope is negative 1/2.
So it'd be y equals
Negative 1/2 x
negative 1/2 x
plus.
plus 4.
No, what's 4 divided by 2?
2.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Okay. Keep working. Oh, where'd you get the pencil? That was nice, bro. Speaking of which. Okay. Longer work.